Good evening all. This is the start of my permaculture garden, courtyard I should say. This was my lemon tree in a pot, and she had been struggling with producing any fruit. And when I did remove her, her roots were so congested. But look how beautiful her leaves are. So she's been transplanted for about 3 days now, and she's looking so green and healthy. I haven't sprayed these plants yet with water. I'm going to give them a good spray on after a hot day. These are my 2 passion fruit pots. They will be transferred to the 2 boxes behind. And then I can get rid of these terracottas. So far I planted or transplanted a dying rosemary, my new Chinese wisteria, and I have a little friend in here. Where is she? She's oh you probably can't see because of the camouflage. Hey sweetie, hello. Hi. She turned around. There she is. See her now? Isn't she a beauty? Poor little mite. She's liking the wisteria. This will give beautiful purple lavender flowers. And so far it's about 120 centimeters high. So next I planted a rosemary that was getting very cooked by the sun, and she's recovering nicely. And this rosemary was dying, and over the past day or two, she's actually started to get her green, some of her greenness back, which is a good sign. Over here I've got a pot of Vietnamese mint inside, and it's about 50 centimeters high, almost time for flowering. So I'll be transplanting her here. It's actually a bitter coriander. I don't know why I call it mint. But you know what the garden names, how they go. This is actually a sage. It's not like your normal silver sage. I'll be using her for ground cover. So maybe under the wisteria or on this lavender. We'll see. This lavender is about 150 centimeters high. And you can see how the stems are quite sparse. God, I hate those planes. Anyway, the roots were all compacted in this big pot, just about 60 centimeters in diameter. And the terracotta is just not good. It cooks the roots. They're good for succulents. Pretty much that's about it, and cactus. But they ain't good for plants that like to have water in their roots. So I'm so crossing my fingers that my beautiful girl will make it. And you know what? She started as a twig, like this. I put her in water, and the twig that is, and she got roots, and then I planted her, and look at her now. That's after a year of growth. And she's given me lots of little mini plants in the process. When I was transplanting her, you know that big giant perme I showed you before, the queen, she actually fell out on my hand and made me jump out of my skin. And I just moved her over here. She's saying hello. Hey! You want heaps of these guys in your garden, perme mantises. Oh, the focus, come on focus. Here you go. You want heaps of these guys. And ladybugs. They protect your plants. They eat all the other things, and even spiders. This is a Boston ivy. I'm actually going to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I want to plant her along this fence here, so it's no longer ugly grey amongst other things. And so far that is it. Get rid of the zoom. So the idea is that you lay boxes down, then you put boxes on top like I've got done here, There's actually boxes underneath flattened. Water them down, pop over mulch. I had some leftover, you know, the basket lining, the coconut shreds. I used that as mulch to recycle, as over here, as well as bark chips. And then you put a bit of soil, and then you pop your plant and secure the plant with more soil, and done. You halve the amount of water. No grass or weeds are going to grow through the boxes. You'll kill the weeds, you know, which sometimes you may not want to do, but most of the time you do. The next process will be is filling the rest of the boxes with plants, i.e. the landscaping. Then I will actually put a protective barrier. I'm thinking either bricks or, you know, one of those half wood cylinders. You'll see what I mean when I update you next week. And then when I've done that, I'll actually put another layer of soil and mulch on the top, probably bark chips, and it will just look like this big raised garden bed. So you won't see any of the boxes or the edges. The boxes will break down, provide a great home for the worms, and keep your plants nice and healthy and nice. How can I rephrase that? It'll keep the water in the roots, which is really good on the hot days like we have in Australia. You can probably hear my birdie friends over there. I can hear them. You missed my ravens. I've got a couple of ravens that come and say hello to me every day and arc away. But yeah, so that's it so far, and I'll update you next week. Eventually this is going to be a fay garden. It's going to be decked out with so many fairy lights and you name it. Today's the 19th of March, so tomorrow's a star. Have a wonderful star, and yeah, start some permaculture. Perfect if you're a pagan and you give a hoot about your planet. Take care. Blessed be. Bye.